Back Daily Show hitting you in the nose at 9:19. A little bit of change on this Wednesday morning. Candidate for the 6th Ward. How are we doing today, Kirstan?
Beautiful day, man. I tell you what, the weather's going to be great. Life is great.
Well, and honestly, it's about time because I was getting a little wintered out, to be honest with you.
Cabin fever had set in.
And now we are springing forward, and I don't know what to do with my life.
Are you still adjusting?
I can't do it, man. But really excited to have you in the studio, and really excited to hear more about your candidacy and your campaign and platform for 6th Ward Alderman if you happen to get elected on April the 1st.
Awesome. Yeah.
Well,
thanks for having me.
What really led to this decision? You know, I mean, we all know that, you know, or should know that your father was very active in the community. And before we start, want to offer, you know, my condolences again to your family this past year.
Thank you.
But, you know, your family's always been active in the community. Was there a conversation you had with your family? Was it internal that said, you know what, I'm gonna put my name on the ballot and do this?
Well, you know, the funny thing that you asked that, I did have a conversation with my father before his passing, and actually my mother before her passing. Wow. They both told me to stay away from it.
So like normal, you didn't listen, huh?
Exactly.
That's
well,
pretty good.
you know, I've been one that's always kind of paved my own path. And, you know, I tell you, CJ, what really got me motivated to do this is I've been a DJ for a long time in the Alton area, plus worked for Olin for 37 years now. And, you know, I'm only 56, so I've still got a long time to live and work here in Alton. And I think what drove me to it is I started that business here in Alton, and I found out that Alton's brand is damaged. And I want to help rebuild that. I want to be part of rebuilding that.
And that's a fascinating topic because, I mean, you do have firsthand experience and knowledge on this, owning that business on, you know, Broadway. I mean, that's the corridor into town. Take me through some of the things that you've noticed that kind of led to that hypothesis of yours.
Well, it's just the amount of phone calls that I get for people interested in renting my venue. And the questions that they ask. They ask about the news headlines. They ask about the incidents. They ask about, you know, the road repair. You know, Broadway for a long time was in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just ironic how that's what people know us as. You know, once upon a time, they knew us for the great Bon Air and, you know, a lot of antique shops and stuff like that. And we got to replace that headline.
Well, and if you had, you know, the perfect world scenario, if you could, you know, write the equation, what would that headline read? That new headline, if your platform or if your vision for Alton came to fruition?
My gosh, you know, first of all, we should be a visionary place. You know, I mean, we're not just about antiques. We have a lot of great businesses here in town. We gotta fix our image. So we gotta make the roads accessible. You know, you hear everybody's using the buzz term about fiscal responsibility.
Yeah.
We gotta make smart investments.
Yeah.
I
agree.
There's a lot of TIF money out there, stuff like that, but we got to make smart investments. We got to do things that make people want to come to Alton.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? So
I get what you're saying. Well, and on the TIF question too, I mean, the bigger topic is, and this is something that's been discussed in many a publication and media, is how much of it's actually left. You know, I hate to say that, but and it's not a gotcha thing, and it's not to put you on the spot, but there were there were larger TIF, you know, agreements this last couple of years, for good or bad. I don't know, because I'm not the general that decides what's good or bad, but how much is left of those public funds? How much are left of those revenues?
Well, and you know, CJ, let me take you a little different direction with that. Here's a question I like to ask. I like to ask the hard questions, okay? Why haven't we been using the TIF money?
True. That's a better question. I agree.
Why haven't we been using it more effectively? We have solid local businesses here. We have a lot. I mean, look, there's a lot of growth in Godfrey. There's a lot of growth, Edwardsville, other areas. There's programs. There's programs out there that could help the homeless.
Oh, absolutely.
With that TIF money. You know what I mean? It's not just the fact that they're not in a house. What put them out there? You know. So I don't want to move away from that topic too much and what you were asking. Let me try to screw it in real quick here. What I'm getting at is the smart things to do is to get a solid council in that asks the right questions, form the right motions, present the right proposals, and actually do research on the proposals. Man, as a candidate, I have been pelted with presentations. And one thing I found out is that the people presenting, they present to an audience.
Yeah. So
they tell people what they want to hear. And then in reality, is it going to be that?
That's the $1 million question right there, Kirstan. Is it actually going to come to fruition? And is this actually, not that timeshare that we're being sold?
Right.
And it's, fascinating you bring that up, having conversations and people, pitching projects and ideas. Since you announced, take me through some of that, behind the scenes conversations that you're having. I don't want to spill the magic beans or anything, of course, but, what are you hearing from prospective, developers or project initiators about what their thoughts are on April 1st?
They're being really tight-lipped about what their expectations are. You can tell that there's a lot of side conversations, and they're really just feeling out candidates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To see what side you're on. It seems like there's a lot of focus on Broadway.
Yeah, I can see that.
But, another great motivator for me to get involved in this is every day when I go to back out of my driveway, and I've had to have my front end aligned on my vehicle twice. My road, the last time it was paved was in the 90s. We have potholes the size of craters. And, I know a lot of guys that work for the city that want to do a great job. They just need the support of the council and their supervision to get these roads fixed.
And as a council member, on April 2nd, you win and you have that month to prepare. What are you prepared to do for Public Works to support them and these initiatives and to get them to the pace you'd like them to be at?
Well, great you asked that, because my first and foremost thing is to take the word transparency and move it from a cliche and a campaign term into a reality. I work in IT. I am willing to pledge my time to build a system. I've actually built one just to show how simple it is to actually track people's complaints with the city streets, as well as the code violations. And I want to put transparency out there. I want to support our city workers. I want them to know where the hot spots are, where they need to go work on the streets, the potholes. And I want to let the people of Alton know that their issues are being addressed.
Yeah.
And that's my motivation. I'm big into, I hate using that word transparency over and over again, but we got to be transparent.
Well, and you've had a chance now to meet some folks, I'm sure, of the 6th Ward, and I know that maybe some of them you've known for quite some time, and all the good stuff that goes with that. But now it's campaign season, and it's a little bit different. And, for folks that run, everyone thinks I always have an opinion on this, and I don't, because I have respect for everyone that puts their name on a local ballot. That's tough. All the people, and the people know you. It becomes, personal when it's not supposed to be because of that community closeness. But when you're knocking on doors as candidate, Kirstan Gray, what are they talking to you about? Is it the road issue in the 6th Ward? Is it crime? I mean, is there a number one issue that your constituents, prospective ones, are saying this is a problem?
Over and over again, I hear, who is my alderman?
Oh.
I hear, what does the alderman do? What's the alderman's responsibility? And then right with that, it's the roads. Now, I can't leave out the fact that, there's a lot of code violation out there. I mean, and when I talk about code violation, I'm talking about not the burned out houses. I'm talking about vacant properties. I'm talking about the unfortunate circumstance where someone's died and they don't have an estate or a loved one to take care of it, and that property is gone unkept. I hear those are the main things that I hear.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to, I don't know how to get focused on those right now. There's some things I have to learn.
Yeah.
It's
a great topic that you bring up too, because that's a big thing when it comes to this role and to any role. Your constituents ask the question of what's the role of an alderperson, and so many times, and I'm not putting you in this category, but when you talk to candidates, they are running for mayor without realizing they're still running for alderman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what have been some of those learning curves, or if there have been any for you, as you're preparing, to potentially take this role in 2 months, if you win? Have you been in that study process? Has there been any processes you like to share with the public to let them know that you are preparing for this?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a great question, because the big thing is, I spent a lot of time online looking at the past video of the meetings, committee as a whole. I spent a lot of time going back, looking through the notes. What I see is a very old system, a very old way of doing things. We need to bring fresh eyes to it. So, it's not just, once upon a time, you could use the newspaper, local newspaper and everything to do your political push to get the word out to the people. Yeah. People don't get their news that way anymore. It's Facebook.
Yeah.
One thing I also learned too is very few people get out and vote in this consolidated election.
Oh, it's terrible. It's absolutely abhorrent. I mean, you got 4,000 maybe that voted the last time around out of 24,000 prospective voters. That's it. And to me, that's where my focus has always been. And this is my soapbox moment, Kirstan, is the fact that, the county has all this money. I said, why don't we take some of this and let's use it to promote consolidated elections, not who to vote for, but just to tell people there is a darn election on April 1st that's more important than your national one will ever be.
Right. Yeah,
I don't know. Sorry, I'm not running for office. It's just my little rant.
The local issues are home, though. The local issues are home. It's where we live. It's where we work, And
do you have to constantly remind people when Election Day is? Is that always a common question, or are we starting to get used to the April 1st date now?
So let's let the cat out of the bag here. Okay? Everybody's got their own technique, and one of the first things I heard was signs are not votes.
It's true.
I somewhat disagree with that. The other side of this too, CJ, is I hear a lot of the focus is on the people that voted in the major election, or the people that vote normally. When you see the signs, you'll see a heavy saturation through the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd ward.
True.
What I concentrated on are the people that don't get out to vote. When I got the voter list from the Madison County website, I looked for the people where there were gaps, because I figured those people, they already feel as though they've been disenfranchised. They haven't been served.
See, that's what I wanted to ask you. There's a lack of motivation, I feel like, on so many fronts across every ward. And this isn't a gotcha or a candidate this last 4 years did something wrong.
Right.
I think that there's so many conversations that comes into play with this, Kirstan. It's the fact that, regardless of who you voted for, I know that this comes up to you whenever you're knocking or talking to people as well. Did you vote for such and such in 2024? Doesn't matter, because it's a common sense election. Local issues are common sense issues,
right.
And that's just the way it goes. But it seems like it kind of just burns people out whenever the national one hits, that general, and then it's like, God dang, I got to do this again in 3 months and vote for somebody. And I didn't know if that's something that you're kind of dealing with, or how you are kind of tackling that.
I'm going straight for the people that are asking the questions. What's the alderman's responsibility?
Yeah.
What do they do? What's the alderman going to do for me?
Yeah.
I've explained over and over again that, our council, 2/3 majority vote, can stop bad decisions. Whoever the mayor is, if the council is united, if the council is an actual functioning team, you can stop bad decisions.
And I wanted to ask you about that, because this is a conversation that I've had with a few alder people and candidates now, is, I keep hearing, and this isn't a slight on anybody, and I mean that because everyone thinks right now the media plays a part, and I'm not trying to, but from candidates to people in office, this whole thing of, well, I did this because everyone else said yes. Are you prepared to be, the guy that says, if it's not good, then I'm not going to go ahead and vote with the majority?
I tell you what, out of 37 years working at Olin, running my own business, DJing, working with my brother as a partner DJing, the one thing people know about me is I ask questions. I'm not a yes person. I am not an abstain person. I believe a view should be heard. I'm ready to represent the people of the 6th Ward. As a matter of fact, I'm ready to represent the people of the city of Alton. Oh. Okay, because, I mean, at the end of the day, we got to talk.
Yeah.
We have to talk. We have to speak through things. There's a lot of money going out into the community. And let me tell you what, here's I'm not going to get on a soapbox with this. I'm just going to make the statement.
Okay.
I was getting ready to go on a soapbox and I decided,
that's my job.
I don't know how much time we have for that.
We're going to take a break soon. We'll come back with more though. Yeah. Do you want to end with your point before we take the break, or do you want to come back with
Take
it?
the break. Let's come back.
Hey, the time's 9:35. A great conversation underway. State of the race cover. I do get paid to talk, Kirstan. 2025 continues with candidate for the 6th Ward, Kirstan Gray, taking on Stephanie Elliott in the upcoming consolidated April the 1st. We'll be back with more next.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
What are you doing?
We did our home insurance ourselves, but don't feel protected.
So you're building your own American Family Insurance roof line?
Yeah, life's better when you're protected under American Family's roof.
That's not how it works.
Dad, we'll go. It's gonna hit.
See, that's how it works.
For real protection, save up to 23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab select 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back. Hey, sorry for all of that stuff on Facebook earlier. I told you we were fighting through it. We had Mike working hard upstairs. Want to thank Mike again. But now we're live on everything. We're on Roku and RiverBender. That's where everyone watches. I play music and, live stream Facebook, social media. You can have every license in the world and they still friggin' hate you. So it's like we just do it to do it. Back with candidate for the 6th Ward, Kirstan Gray, coming up for election here April the 1st. And we're just having a conversation, if you're just tuning in on social media or wherever you're watching the show, about his vision, his platform for the 6th Ward if he is elected on April the 1st. And, what's your biggest motivator right now?
You know, my biggest motivator is really to unify the council and to start looking at things a little bit differently, especially when it comes to, we started talking about this before the break. Yeah. You know, look, whenever a lot of these developers come in with grandiose ideas for our city, they talk a lot of big talk. I've worked a lot of large IT projects and stuff for Olin in my career with them. And what I found is that if a lot of the developers can talk over the people that are in charge of making decisions, they'll do that. I'm not saying that's a lot of what's going on, but I do think that, you know, our planning and development needs the support of the council, and the council needs to ask the right questions, and we need to control our voice of I. Everything can't be I.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, and I'm not saying that as a whatever project it is. It's just you know, asking the questions, you know, and it leads me to my next point, because, you know, sometimes you have folks that want to grow, and I think it's great, we need to grow, but they lose sight of the character of what makes a community a community. I was in Georgetown, Texas for years, or for a couple of months, and I watched it, you know, for 6 months, almost a year, and watched this town. It was so historic, and it was part of the Austin, Texas development, and it was a suburb, and it just got entrenched, and you know, the part of the town's charm is still there, but you can tell it's missing something.
Right.
Is there any, you know, any way that you are going to look at, you know, achieving that economic vision, that development vision, with still preserving the character of the 6th Ward?
Well, as a part of the council, I want to look at the character of all the businesses that we bring into town. Yeah. You know, I want to look at the character that we represent. We you know, I'm trying to stay away from that in the light of recent headlines from digging in too deep.
Oh yeah, I get you.
About character.
Yeah.
There's lots of questions there.
Yeah.
So. Thinking through your question, what I'd really like to see is how can we motivate developers to come into Alton, and how can we get those motivators to not just use community focus as a buzzword, but actually get involved with the community. Man, once upon a time, I'm going to rewind it a little bit. I was a student I went to St. Mary's, then I went to Marquette. As I transitioned to Alton High, which I graduated from Alton High, when I moved to Alton High, man, I was involved in vocational school. Alton High had J.B. Johnson, and man, auto body, auto mechanics, building trades. Everybody remembers that, right?
Right.
I think there's a huge missed opportunity with some of the developments on Broadway to engage some of our students. Get some students involved, you know, give people an opportunity to learn building trades, experience what this growth can do for the city. You follow where I'm going?
Yeah, I do.
That?
And that's what leads me to my next point. It's a great topic that you bring up. And the reason I'm leading in this way is because your ward's a little unique in terms of its layout, because it does come all the way down, doesn't it? From what I believe.
It does, but the redistricting has really butchered up.
Really?
Oh, my gosh.
Take me through it, because I'm not too aware of that.
Wow. So, yeah, the redistricting, I'm a DJ too.
It's not a good day for talkers, Kirstan.
You know, if we did this over a Crown Royal and 7, we'd be all right.
That's for damn
But no, one thing I found when I pulled the map from the city of Alton and I started my canvas for signatures. Yeah. And then someone gave me an alert that, hey, you better look at the county website because the city website is different. Well, I looked at that, and sure enough, like South Rogers, for example.
Uh-huh.
Once upon a time, that was all 6th Ward, and now it's butchered up. There's a house here and a house there on South Rogers. Evergreen, I've talked to a resident there. Actually had the pleasure of doing this young lady's son's wedding at my venue. And, you know, she offered her support, but now she's in a different ward because of the redistricting. Here's the other thing. Folks, check your voter registration card. Look at the Madison County site. I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this. The locations have changed. We're not voting for 6th Ward. We're not voting at Enjoy Church. Part of us are voting at Brown Street. Part are voting at Messiah.
Wow.
What do you think that's going to do to a person that doesn't normally vote in a consolidated election?
Or the person that does and they go to the wrong place not even realizing it too. That's a good point. I'm glad you bring that up.
Yeah, because my goal is to get 200 new voters out.
Wow.
That's my goal.
That's an ambitious goal. I mean, people at home might go 200. No, that's a big goal.
My goal is to get 200 people out that have not voted or very rarely vote in a consolidated election. That's my strategy.
Yep. Well, and before I let you go, we've been talking for 30 minutes already.
Yeah.
It's wild to think that. I want to ask you about just what you think the 6th Ward could be for Alton as a whole, because it seems like, and I tell this to people all the time, it seems like at times that the wards become islands where, Ward 1 does something different than 7, and it's not now. I'm not equating anything to present time or trying to. It just seems that way in perception and what you read. What do you think that Ward 6's spot in the Alton landscape could be as a whole going forward if you're elected and your vision's enacted?
So I'm going to say the things that I like to say, the things that people want to say and don't. Number one, 6th Ward and 7th Ward has been forgotten. Okay, we don't get a lot of activity over there. Because you can tell by our streets. There's opportunity for development. I mean, the 6th Ward borders in with Tractor Supply. There's a lot of real estate there. We lack sidewalks. We lack the things to bring it in. The other crazy thing with that is we're close to Gordon Moore. Not only that, we're close to 255 in the 6th and 7th Ward. Okay? 255. The people that are bypassing Alton are going up 255 and going around us. So there's an opportunity to open up another gateway to pull people into Alton. There's a lot of great businesses over there. Sports Taps over there. Great Rivers Hotel used to be the Holiday Inn.
It's still it's like Riverport.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, Alton Physical Therapy just did a major.
They did. That was a lot of work.
The old Starlight Drive and that whole property where Alton Multi-Specialist is located and everything. There's a lot of opportunity out that way, but what's going to drive a business to come in is if you have a solid alderman in that area, working on the roads, making that area appetizing to come in. We don't have a lot of crime over there. We have our issues, and we don't have just a bunch of code violations over there, but there's room for attention. I mean, our biggest downfall is the roads. And I think, with the right person leading that charge, someone committed to the area. I grew up there. Man, we moved over there when I was 5. I had my 5th birthday over in that area.
What, Kirstan, before I let you go, what is your final message to your constituents ahead of April 1st? I know you'll be active on social media, and we'll get ways that we can connect with you out here at the end. But just your final thoughts. It's been a great conversation.
Final thoughts is really whether you own a business in Alton, in the 6th Ward, or you live there. Talk to your family, talk to your friends, help me, help the city reach that goal. Let's get 200 new voters out there. I don't care who else you vote for on the ballot, but I just like you to think about who you vote for on the ballot. There's a lot of topics I could bring up, but I'm going to stay away from that because I'm not picking fights with anybody. I'm running for a position. I'm not running against someone. I'm running for a position of change. I want to restore Alton's brand. Think about it. I'm going to harp on this brand thing because you don't go buy a knockoff in an area where Saks Fifth Avenue is. You're going to shop in Saks Fifth Avenue. If we keep our brand down low, if we don't restore and get people thinking about the good places we have. Like, I'm heading to Brown Bag Bistro after here. I don't know about you. They didn't pay me for that either, and it's not in my ward, but I'm going there.
They didn't pay me either, so you can't say that on the show. We got to call it a different restaurant.
We're not on a 90-second delay. You're not leaving this out?
No, it's like, I got to say Jim and M's instead of M&M's because they don't pay.
Ah, got it.
Lacey thought it was funny. Thank you, Lacey. What's the website, Kirstan? What's the Facebook page? How can we stay up to date?
Gray for 6th Ward. Gray, Gray, FOR, 6th Ward. Now, let's just do one thing. I love you, CJ, but I got to make one minor correction.
Uh-oh.
This one minor correction.
What'd I do?
My name is Kirstan. Everybody mispronounces it and says Kirstan or Kristen.
I always do.
I answer to it all. Just don't call me late for supper, all right?
God dang it. I knew I did that.
Kirstan.
See, okay, let me end right then.
All right.
April the 1st. Now I'm nervous, damn it.
It's all good. It's all good. We're still friends, man.
We'll take a quick break. You can find out more about Kirstan. Kirstan. God, we're taking a break. I'm going to come back with more Daily Show. Best of luck on April 1st.
All right.